A strange multiplicity of sensations seized me, and I saw, felt, heard, and smelt at the same time. By degrees, I remember a stronger light pressed upon my nerves, so that I was obliged to shut my eyes. Darkness then came over me and troubled me, but hardly had I felt this when, by opening my eyes, as I now suppose, the light poured in upon me again. Several changes of day and night passed, and the orb of night had greatly lessened, when I began to distinguish my sensations from each other. I gradually saw plainly the clear stream that supplied me with drink, and the trees that shaded me with their foliage. As I traveled through the countryside, I made quite the important discovery. Trekking along the trees, I walked upon what seemed to be a small house. I would soon learn that this was called a cottage, and inside were cottagers. The young man was constantly employed out of doors, and the girl in various laborious occupations within. The son had talked to many countrymen outside of the cottage, and I had listened to their conversations. The old man, whom I soon perceived to be blind, employed his leisure hours on an instrument or in contemplation. A considerable period elapsed before I discovered one of the causes of the uneasiness of this amiable family. It was poverty, and they suffered that evil in a very distressing degree. I learned also the names of the cottagers themselves. The youth and his companion had each of them several names, but the old man only had one, which was Father. Springtime had now arrived, and so did a new guest at the cottage. She was an Arabian girl, dressed in foreign garments. Felix seemed unusually happy when he saw her, and I didn't understand why. At first, the stranger didn't understand the language of the cottagers, but they began teaching her some words, and through her, I began to understand their language. As I listened to more of the cottagers' conversations, I began to learn a lot more about how being a human worked. Along with this new knowledge came a dreadful realization. None of these conversations were meant for me. Was I then a monster, a blot upon the earth from which all men fled and whom all men disowned? I tried to shake these feelings of agony, but they came over me like an unstoppable wave, taking over my thoughts and emotions, making me feel like I would never feel as happy as a human. As I ventured through the forest, I found a suitcase. Curious, I approached it and decided to empty its contents. Inside were 3 books: Plutarch's Lives, The Sorrows of Young Werther, and Paradise Lost. I enjoyed reading the first 2 books, but Paradise Lost resonated with me. Adam and Satan, 2 characters from the Bible, had been cast out of heaven by God, similar to how I have been cast out of a normal life by my Creator. My heart beat quick. This was the hour and moment of trial. The fresh air revived me, and with renewed determination, I approached the door of the cottage.
Who is there? Come in.
I'm a traveler, in want of a little rest. You would greatly oblige me if you would allow me to remain a few minutes before the fire.
Enter. By your language, stranger, I suppose you are my countrymen. Are you French?
No, but I was educated by a French family and understand that language only. I am now going to claim the protection of some friends whom I sincerely love and of whose favor I have some hopes. I am an unfortunate and deserted creature. I am full of fears, for if I fail, there I am an outcast in the world forever.
Do not despair. To be friendless is indeed to be unfortunate. Rely therefore on your hopes, and if these friends are good and amiable, do not despair.
How can I thank you, my best and only benefactor? I shall be forever grateful with those friends who I am on the point of meeting.
May I know the names and the residence of those friends?
At that moment, I heard the steps of my younger protectors.
Now is the time. Save and protect me. You and your family are the friends whom I seek. Do you not desert me in the hour of our trial?
Great God! Who are you?
And so I headed out of the cottage, furious about my failed attempt to connect with society. Seeking revenge, I went to the forest and gathered sticks. These sticks were to be placed in front of the home and lit ablaze. As I lit the fire, I couldn't help but resent my creator for making me such a rejectable being.